Hello and welcome to another exciting Buffalo-rific episode of Better Than Wolves Minecraft with Karnak. Today on Better Than Wolves Minecraft with Karnak, we will be continuing our little grinding expedition. We're going to be expanding this wheat farm a little bit more to sort of, what we got is we have a automatic wheat farm that needs a kind of a boost in the seed arena. Basically, we need seeds from it. We need seeds like fast. So we're making this ever-expanding, easily harvestable farm here, and it is going to start off with, it's just going to be for hemp, but later on we're going to use it to extend our potatoes and carrots and whatnot. So I will take a second to show off to you folks that haven't been here the wheat farm. Now, this is Better Than Wolves Minecraft. It is a total conversion of Minecraft that sort of tries to take Minecraft and all of the brilliant ideas and half-baked things in Minecraft and fleshes them out so that it's actually more of a game experience. Now, this is still not exactly a game like you'd be used to, where there are like easily identified goals and all that. But what you've got in this is you've got almost a lifestyle type of game. It's geared toward people who are kind of growing up and growing out of, like, you know, the first-person shooter kind of thing. And, you know, like me, you know, I can't tell you when the last time I saw a straight-up video game that I was actually interested in came out. I just can't tell you. It's been years. And before, probably the last actual game that held my interest for any length of time was honestly probably a Zelda game. Probably, heck, Twilight Princess. Well, that's a lie. There were a couple games on the Wii that I actually enjoyed. Like, I think the Resident Evil 4 version on the Wii I played and really got into. But, really not a gamer. The latest generation of games, I remember when I was younger and I grew up in, like, I was a child, like a you know, kindergartner and whatnot during the Atari 2600 days, and I'm 37 years old, by the way, about to turn 38. And the Atari 2600 was the first video game system that me and my brother had. My brother's 3 years older than me, and you know, it was the 2600 was basically, I don't know, it was an inferior system. Like, when you're playing it, you definitely didn't feel like it was you're escaping into a world. You had to use your imagination quite a bit to have fun with the 2600. So, but that was probably good for us. And then the Nintendo, the Famicom, the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, came out, and you know, was blown away by the fact that, you know, just playing a game simple like Super Mario Brothers or something, you could actually tell what was supposed to be going on. Like, oh, that's a guy in overalls, and he stepped on a turtle, and look, that turtle has wings and can fly. Oh my God, this is such an escape, you know? And video games, they captured a pretty dear place in my heart. And for a long time, I mean, I grew up with, like, Mario, Zelda, Mega Man, Metroid, and, you know, I was a Nintendo guy because there wasn't anything else out there when I was growing up other than Nintendo. You know, Atari was just Atari was for the people who, I hate to bring class warfare into it because I hate it when people do this nowadays, but like Atari was for the kids whose parents weren't doing well enough to buy a Nintendo, you know? I mean, nobody owned an Atari system like by choice when I was a kid. And then like there were other systems that came out, but either they were far too expensive, like the Neo Geo or whatnot, or like, you know, it was computer, like home computer games and whatnot. But it was like how can I say this? I definitely don't want to make it sound like I'm, you know, in any way like a, you know, egotist or anything like that. But like Nintendo was a cut above. It was your thinking man's game. I remember playing Nobugen's Ambition on the Nintendo, and it was like, you know, the first version of SimCity that I played was, I believe it was on the Super Nintendo. But when the Super Nintendo came out, you know, it blew the lid off of everything. And like, I was a peak gamer. I was like, you know, in the peak of my, you know, video game experience when the Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom came out. And I remember, you know, the huge jump in quality from 16-bit to from 8-bit to 16-bit. You know, it was just, you know, multi-parallax scrolling backgrounds and characters with greater animation and more detailed levels and, you know, Mode 7 effects and, you know, color transitions and the sound, like that. Oh my God, the sound on the Super Nintendo was just amazing. Like, just no way to compare like how good the sound was on the Super Nintendo to anything else. It was just amazing. So anyway, so there was a genuine, like heartfelt, like increase in the quality of the games when you bought the Super Nintendo. Like you could definitely tell why you had bought this thing. And so look at that, Batwings. Hooray, I got an emerald for Batwings. Still trying to get these guys to increase. Oh, look at that. That's heck yeah. That's good because he's starting to get close to uh, the next level. The mysterious gland. But wait a minute. Oh my God, he is the one that needs to increase. And he needs a lens block. Damn it. I gotta get gold. That's all there is to it. We might end up going into the nether to get some gold today, perhaps. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say about these video games is that the 16-bit Nintendo, there was a reason that you were buying the 16-bit Nintendo. You could definitely see what the difference was between the 16-bit and the 8-bit, you know. And then when it got to the point of time for the apparently we decided to completely skip the 32-bit era. I never got why, you know, the 32X was like what, the only 32-bit system that I know of. Maybe the Jaguar, because I had two 32-bit processors, but they called it a 64. Who cares, right? Anyway, when the Nintendo 64 came out, the only 3D games that you really had on like the home games were like things like say F-Zero or Mario Kart, the original Mario Kart, or you know, that kind of thing. And they were great. They were fantastic. But the thing is, like, you really can't say that they were truly 3D, you know what I'm saying? Look at that. Oh shit, that's a creeper. Creeper, fuck. Can't let that creeper go anywhere near my shit. Whew. Now, how did a creeper get up there? We're gonna have to investigate that. For that, we're gonna need... How did he spawn up there? I see it. Damn. Okay, we're going to have to work on that later. But for now, we're going to go for really, really, really quick. I'm going to go up here very quickly and make sure we don't have any planters that are being made. And then we're going to go out and we're going to get some more clay. I don't think we have any more clay, of this that's working. Oh, we do, actually. Look at that. So let's go ahead and do this. 56 should be plenty. There we go. Let's go ahead and start. So we don't need to go get clay. That's going to be good. So yeah, the Nintendo 64 was just 3D gaming, and it was a frantic change. It was an amazing change from 16 to 64-bit, you know. And you could see, again, you could see exactly why you were changing. You could see exactly what you were getting for it. And then the GameCube era came out. You can tell I'm a Nintendo boy because I'm only referencing the Nintendo stuff, which there were great things going on the PlayStation side. And, you know, the PlayStation was one of the best things to happen in video games. Suddenly you had a competitor to Nintendo who actually gave a fuck and wasn't just trying to fleece the American market into fucking being stupid enough to buy their shit. I'm looking at you, Sega. And because of that, Nintendo had to really step up their game in order to at least compete. And, you know, they lost a massive, massive market share to PlayStation because they weren't able to compete properly. I mean, I'm the first person to admit that PlayStation's been running the board. And that's good, you know, good stuff's happening, right? And the PlayStation was just like the Nintendo 64 in that it had an amazing amount of 3D gaming and whatnot, and nothing wrong with that. And then when the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the first Xbox came out, something amazing had happened then. And I don't think people really understood the gravity of the change in direction it was going to be. But what happened with that generation was, it was the last generation, in my opinion, and I'm not a hardcore gamer, I'll be the first person to admit it. But that was the first time. Oh, sorry, that was gonna be the last time in we're gonna go ahead and take this mutton out of here. Then we're not gonna be feeding our dogs mutton. That was gonna be the last time that graphics could sell a system. Because we already had 3D games. 3D games were not that wasn't a novelty at that point. It was all about the believability of the game and the aesthetic that the games were going to be at. I mean, look, you can make more varied terrain, and you can make things look better. Like I remember, it increased it changed the playability of Rogue Squadron. That Rogue Squadron 2, which was on the GameCube. I remember the first time that I played the next to last stage, which was like actually it was the last stage when you're flying in the raid against the Death Star, and you're going up against, like, God, I forget who you're going up against, but I remember I remember thinking I'm in the battle of Yavin. You know, I am a participant in this. You know, it was sort of like the first time that I'd played Star Fox, but, you know, Star Fox, you really had to use your imagination to make those polygons work for you, you know? But in Rogue Squadron 2, that was no longer the case. You're sitting there, and you know exactly what's going on. You don't have to imagine a damn thing anymore. And I remember that. But I remember when they were talking about bringing out the Wii and the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I do remember I was living in Australia at the time, and there were big video game magazines coming out talking about, you know, the net, you know, the second coming of games and all this stuff that was going to happen and why it was amazing. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why do we need a new system? I was playing F-Zero GX or whatever the hell it was, the GameCube version. And I was thinking, I don't know what else you're gonna do with like your gameplay other than the aesthetics that you can't do now. Like I remember thinking, like, this is sort of it, you know? I mean, these polygons are too numerous for me to count. Maybe there's something to be said for making higher polygon counts for the games or something like that. Perhaps. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I remembered playing at the time thinking, this is just not gonna, this isn't gonna be a big deal in, the next generation of games. And this is it. And then I remember seeing the advertisement for the Wii and changing my mind entirely and going, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever, I must have it, right? Because the Wii, like, it really had people thinking, like it was going to change everything. And I guess in a way it did. It was kind of a letdown. Not, like playing tennis on Wii Sports for the first time was, it was an amazing experience, but it was an experience that there was not much technique there. Um, Mario Galaxy was a freaking blow away of a game. Fantastic game. I don't think I've had as much fun with the game as I have Mario Galaxy on a console since maybe the Super Nintendo days. I mean, that game was top notch. And like I said, the Resident Evil 4 version for the game Wii was probably one of the better loved versions of the game. But hey, I'll tell you what, folks. In my humble opinion here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. Okay, I should be able to get 64 out of this. I'm going to wait till I get a whole stack of them. But I remembered thinking, like, the control of this is really good, but you know what? You could have a great control scheme for this no matter what you had done. Like, I remembered thinking that it didn't have to have that controller set up to be a good game. So, I don't know, and I'd also not played Resident Evil 4 before the game, before the Wii version. So, I'm speaking through eyes that may not, have seen what they need to see. I don't know exactly how to say that, but anyway, simply put, and this is just me saying it, and you can disagree with me if you want. By all means, disagree with me. But I looked at the, graphics of like the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that definitely looks better. Yeah, I mean, like, the higher the resolution, like you have to have like, higher higher polygon counts and like the ability to push more detailed textures. I get, that's fantastic. But I'm not really sure how. I don't see this changing the game at all now. I just don't. And I'll be honest with you, I have not played the games. I am not gonna sit here and pretend that I have. But there was nothing on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 side of things to make me want to jump into that generation. And the Wii, I played some games on the Wii, but in all honesty, the ones I played Resident Evil 4, fantastic. Mario Galaxy 1, freaking superb. Um, Zelda Twilight Princess, I loved, but I thought, to be honest, that it was not the greatest Zelda game of all time, and the sword play did not exactly add what I thought it was going to add, So the Wii didn't exactly hold my interest. So, and of course, with the Wii, they were banking on the idea that people were not really being superficial with the gaming. They wanted a good time, not a perfect 4K image or some bullshit, like that. But so here we are, and they're talking to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and I cannot see a reason at all for the PlayStation 4. I can't. I don't understand it. Like, okay, a bigger processor. Okay, that's fantastic. It has a bigger processor. But what are you getting for your money? What is it changing about the gameplay? Show me a game for PlayStation 4 that couldn't have been done on PlayStation 3 and had an at least halfway decent, like in other words, like show me an experience you can't have on the PlayStation 4. Sorry, show me an experience on the PlayStation 4 that you could not have had on the PlayStation 3. And you can't just say, oh, well, you know what, it's all about the graphics. It's like, no, the graphics are not the experience. The graphics are like the window dressing on the experience. Show me an experience. Playing Tetris on the 8-bit Nintendo was an experience you could not have had on the 8-bit, on the 2-bit or 3-bit or 4-bit Atari. You couldn't have done it. The reason you couldn't have done it is because the 4-bit Atari did not have enough colors on the screen. It didn't have the resolution to make a proper chessboard, and it's not fast enough to, make those later levels really edgy enough. So, Tetris, 8-bit game, you couldn't have had it on a 4-bit game. Okay? Mario Kart, you had to have Mode 7 effects for that. You absolutely had to. You could not have done Mario Kart without Mode 7 effects. It would not have worked. So the circular track and all that works and whatnot, right? So Mario Kart, 16-bit experience you couldn't have had. Pilot Wings is a 16-bit experience. It's pretending like you're flying. That is a huge thing. Couldn't have done it without Mode 7. So all those experiences. That's what I'm talking about. So on top of all that, show me an experience on the Wii U that you couldn't have had on the Wii. And, I know they got the tablet and all that good stuff. That's cool, but you know what? You could have had Mario Maker on the Wii if you really, really wanted to. But, you know what? That being said, I have not bought a Wii U. Maybe I should have. Whatever. But I will tell you this. The last games that I really got into on the computer that I played, Age of Empires 2, a game called Age of Sail, which was it was just it was like your run-of-the-mill boat warfare game. So, Better Than Wolves is sort of like it really is geared toward the game player that does not want to have those experiences, those shitty experiences where you're just like hitting the switch and opening things up. Alright, I gotta get serious with all this stuff. After the sun comes up, I'm gonna plant these things, and I'm going to continue. You know what? I'll go ahead and continue making. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the idea is every row needs 10 of these babies. Each one of these things needs to be, I think it's 5 across that they are. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the last one. And we're doing 5 across, I believe, because I don't think they'll go 6. Actually, I think they would go 6. But hey, you know what? We're going to add a 6th one here. We're going to see if this works. Because if it does, then the next time we build one of these, we can do it the right way. Okay, let's go ahead and pull that lever. Check this out. This is so awesome. Oops. Okay, so I could have made it 6 across the entire time. Well, that's just ducky. Alright, so let's go ahead and start planting it. This guy. That guy. Now you'll notice every time that we pull that lever, we get to add on by a little bit more and a little bit more. There we go. Now we'll go and harvest this little place over here. And once we decide that's as big as we want to make it, we'll be just shoveling seeds into that thing. So there's 32 plant cycles in there at any given time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a silent episode. We're going to be doing... Oh, hello, hey, is somebody listening? Is somebody watching? No, there's nobody watching. Oh, well. Yep, we're going to have a silent episode. Love you all. Go to hell.